talked about this very often in the OC search. And
by the way, I want to keep Kevin Patullo. Just remind everybody.
Yes, Ike wants to keep Kevin Patullo. He says enough of this. We should have kept Kevin Patullo. Yes, right. I just want to make sure that that's out there, is that Ike says we should keep Kevin Patullo. He's not kidding either. This is a real thing.
No, we should have kept him, man. Seriously.
So Craig Carton said this about the Eagles OC search.
So, but part of his responsibilities as the best offensive line coach in football is that he also has the title of run game coordinator.
Yeah.
And that's not a gift they gave him, sure, to pay him more money. And look, he's a great coach, so all good in that regard. But apparently, when Mike McDaniel came in, when Brian Dable came in, there was a debate on this report of full autonomy. You guys call the offense the way you call it. That dude, Jeff Stoutland, is not giving up his job as run game coordinator, meaning he has a voice in the room with how they attack the run, right? How they plan for the run. And apparently, the idea of full autonomy, Stoutland was like, if you give them full autonomy, I'm out.
Well,
so he is saying that the idea of Jeff Stoutland being run game coordinator was an issue for McDaniel and could be an issue moving forward. It is something, we all love Stoutland. He's done a great job here as offensive line coach and run game coordinator. However, I would imagine if I was an offensive coordinator, especially one who has history in the NFL, that I have staff that I know I like to work with that accomplishes my scheme well. So I would imagine for some more established guys like McDaniel or Dable, I don't know that this is true for any of them or not true, I would imagine that the Eagles having a, hey, this is non-negotiable, you can't change this guy, would have an effect on some of the offensive coordinators.
Yeah, especially somebody like a Mike McDaniel, who is a big part of the run game. He was a big part of the run game in San Francisco under Kyle Shanahan. That's what he was. He was the run game coordinator. So that's something he probably takes pride in. He feels like this is really my calling card. It's not the passing part of the offense.
Well, it really is. McDaniel's running game has been, we always think of passing, but he is a running
remember
coach.
the one year they were down there, they had Achane and the other running back, they both went off in the same season with Mike McDaniel. So, yeah, I could see where that could be a problem for him and some others. You may have some guys who want to bring in their own running game guy and be a part of their staff. That was always going to be a sticking point, Spike. If they weren't going to fire everyone on the offensive side, then you're asking somebody to come in and work with people he may not have worked with before versus bringing his own offensive staff with him that knows him, knows what he wants from the plays. Real quick, because here's what those guys have to do. Those guys have to come in and teach the current coaches what they want to have done so that they can then coach the players. So, yeah, I could see that being a sticking point. Only problem is, too bad.
That's where you're at.
Yeah, that's too bad because Jeff Stoutland's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want him to go anywhere. He's been here for a lot of winning. He's been a huge part of success. We talk about the team success they've had in those 8 years going to 3 Super Bowls. Well, look up their running games in those years and see how important the running game was during those seasons. You know, Mr. Lurie is probably, he feels like he did with Jim Johnson. He gets with these coaches and he's been around them and they're like part of the family, especially ones that's been here a long time and it had a lot to do with the success. And that's the way Jeff Stoutland is viewed. He's going to be an Eagles Hall of Famer when he's done. And as far as the Eagles are probably concerned, they don't want him coaching anywhere else. And if he's not ready to retire, they're not going to force him to retire.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't either.
Yeah. It's a tough thing.
It is tough.
It's a tough thing because you're also, if you're that new offensive coordinator, you know, one of the things that is true about this job, whether you think it pushes people away or not, is that there is no margin for error. There's no grow into it. There's no get better. There's none of those things.
Right.
So they're asking an OC like this, come in, fix it. And if I'm an OC, I'm saying, okay, if you want me to fix it right away, I'm willing to take that on, but to your point, I don't have time to teach this guy, and this guy well enough for them to teach the players. Remember, the coaches have to understand, and not only understand it, believe in it enough. Yep. Because somebody like Stoutland, I would imagine, if Mike McDaniel says this is what works, Stoutland's been around long enough where he can go, I don't think so. You know, so it's an interesting thing that we hadn't talked about, but I think is probably true on some level with some of the OC candidates.
And even if it's not just strictly Jeff Stoutland, just not being able to bring your own staff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are we doing with, you got Jamal Singletary still here, the running backs coach. You got Aaron Moorhead, who's been here, the wide receiver coach. Right? All these guys have different positions, and they're still here.
Yeah.
And so the Eagles, are they planning to bring back everyone?
Right. Well,
right?
What is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Even Patullo's still here. We just don't know his new role.
It does sort of go back to the...
Why do we put Patullo back at OC?
Oh, could
you imagine the press release?
I mean, that would... we've had a lot of insane days at WIP. If they reinstated Patullo as the offensive coordinator, it would be one of the craziest days ever.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that.
And that you would have to come in and go, good move.
Good.
You would.
I imagine that day, yeah.
Yes. I would just sit back with a Mai Tai and my feet up.
Yeah. This is healthy.
Yeah.